One of the useful applications of standard form is actually graphing, because it easily allows us to find the x and the y intercepts of your line. And if you know the x and the y intercepts, those are 2 points. You put them on the graph and you draw the line in between the two and you have the graph. Notice here, our y-intercept of this line always will have an x-coordinate of 0. The y-intercept is when x is 0. The x-intercept here, where the line crosses the x-axis, will always have a y-coordinate of 0. Every point on the x-axis has a y-coordinate of 0. So your x-intercept is when x is 0. And since that's the case for both of those two intercepts, we can use that information and the standard form of an equation of a line to determine the x and the y intercepts by using our algebra, and then we'll graph it. So for example, we'll take this 3x plus 4y equals 12. Well, if the x-intercept is when y is 0, that means we can plug 0 in for y here and solve for x. It works out every time that this term goes away because you're multiplying by 0. So you actually just get to eliminate it. This is where y is 0. We can solve for x and determine that x equals 4. The x-intercept, which is when y is 0, in this scenario is going to be 4. We're going to run the same thing back to find the y-intercept, but we're going to have x equaling 0 here. So if x equals 0, we don't care about that term. The 4y is therefore equal to 12 when we're looking at the point that is the y-intercept. So we can divide by 4, determining that our y-intercept is 3. So all we did is plug in 0 either for y to determine our x-intercept, or plug in 0 for x to determine our y-intercept. These are 2 points on the graph, and we can graph our line now. Our x-intercept is 4. That's this point here. Our y-intercept is 3. That's this point here. And if we know those 2 points, then we know the line goes through them, and we've just graphed 3x plus 4y equals 12. Let's run it back for this example. So here we have 2x minus 5y equals 20. We're going to plug 0 in for y, or in other words, just forget about this term altogether, giving us 2x equals 20, and solve for x. This gives us our x-intercept. We're also going to plug in 0 for x, or in other words, forget about this term entirely, which gives us negative 5y equals 20. And we'll solve for y here. Make sure you keep the sign. 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. Now we've determined our x-intercept is the value 10, and our y-intercept is the value negative 4. We've got 2 points. We can graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. X equals 10. 1, 2, 3, negative 4. Y equals negative 4. We graph the line, and we're